I was lucky enough to spend 2 nights at the Grand Helios Hotel, Universal Hotel, right inside of Epic Universe, literally at the back entrance of it, but close enough for our purposes. And I figured let's take a look. So this is our view. This is our view from our room. We were in room 722. We had booked a standard two-person room, but park view. And I think we were upgraded to at least what looks almost like a deluxe in the fact that these are bayed windows. And the only difference between this and I guess the deluxe room is that this did not have a sleeper sofa. It just had this kind of sofa cushion thing, which does not look like the one that I've seen in the photos. But two queen beds, a little desk, kitchen. There's a mini fridge back there if you open one up, and you have a little iPad here. You can actually get a lot of information on the hotel. And here, a great accessories here: USB-C and two USB ports, and chlorine with two regular plugs on both sides of the bed. And so you will not suffer for a lack of connectivity. Free Wi-Fi in the hotel. This is the vanity with the sink. There is the shower and the toilet. There was occupied at the time, so I did not get a view of that. There's a safe, and there's a mirror. You always want to see yourself when you get into the park. Again, there to the left would be you'd open that up, and there's a mini fridge, really small mini fridge, your standard mini fridge. But again, if you bring stuff like bottles, some water bottles, some plastic bottles of sodas or something, or anything you want, a beer, whatever you want to drink, it's easier to get it outside and bring it in than buy it at the hotel, obviously. So, and there is Stardust Racers. I zoomed in for this shot, but you see them there racing in all their glory. And at night, they're all lit up nice and pretty. So there's that. So we had a great time, and this is an honest review. I can't wait to go back. But it's not perfect. But I also want to offer you some tips here because if you're going to be getting ready for your first trip, you probably want to do a couple things. First of all, check in online early. 3 days before we were supposed to check in, we got the notification that we could check in early, and we did. And there you could request whether you want, and you could also request it when you book the room. But when you're checking, you can also modify it there too. If you want a room near an elevator, if you want a high floor or a low floor, I checked near the elevator and high floor. It worked out for me. I got a great view, a great room, and just paces away from the ice machine and the elevator. And I did not hear the elevator at all. So it's not it's the elevator bank of elevators is far away from the rooms that you really don't hear any of that. So both mornings, one thing, just one negative thing, not negative thing, but just keep this in mind. It may be a positive for you. On both mornings that we were there for 2 nights. So the first morning after our first night, and the second one after that when we checked out, the park music started playing at around 7 a.m. And I say this only because the park opened at 11 a.m. It opened a little before 10 a.m. for hotel guests, but it did. The music got up pretty early, so they're getting right into the routine of playing the soundtrack of the park. A beautiful soundtrack, again, not necessarily overly loud, but if your room is facing the park, you will hear it. And the music was also playing a couple of hours after the park closing. So keep that in mind. I mean, if you need total like radio silence when you get into your room, maybe you don't want the park view room. But again, the park view is so great. And while it is more expensive, I think we paid about 120, 140, 150 more than a regular room. It was worth it this time. Later on, we're visiting later in the year. We plan to stay in the club level and also two rooms, another double queen bed situation facing away from the park for the cheapest available room. So we're going to try all of them, and I'll have future reviews on them if anything changes, and I'm going to try the things that I didn't. But let's talk about the process. First of all, the check-in. So you can check in anytime starting at 7 a.m., and it's great if you want to take advantage of early entry. And again, during the previews, the early entry didn't even start till 10, so you didn't really have to be there at 7. But getting there early, you can secure express passes if you want to purchase them and anything else. But for all that to happen, you have to go check in at the hotel and get a physical key. Even if your room is not ready, they will give you physical keys for everyone in your room, and you will need a key for everybody in your room. They will distribute them. Take them with you when you go to the park, especially if you're going in the morning. And with those keys, you can go to the concierge desk, the Universal Vacation Planning desk, where there you can either buy tickets if you don't have them, or express and other questions you may have. They can help you with that. So before you get there, of course, if you're driving there, you will be dealing with either valet parking or the garage. And Valet parking seemed pretty efficient. The garage to me was great. If you've ever been to Universal Studios Hollywood and you stayed at the Sheraton, uh, and the Hilton sort of has a parking garage next to it, but this reminds me a lot of the Sheraton, that it's a small little garage, and then with a covered walkway to get right to the lobby of the hotel. So we found the parking garage very convenient. It costs $36. Again, these are the prices in April of 2025. I expect them to possibly change over time. $36 per daily if you're staying at the hotel, and you can stay there till the end of the day that you check out. They won't charge you extra just because you checked out, so you can visit the park if you're doing that, and then leave right from the garage. And valet is $45. And if you're not staying at the hotel, they will charge you $125. And I know that's a lot, but that's because it's a very small garage. There's 3 floors to the garage. There's a roof on the 3rd floor. So, you want to try to find a spot in the first 2 floors, because the 3rd floor of the garage can get hot, especially if you plan to leave stuff in your car. You may want to, hope for something in the first 2 floors, but the garage is small, and you just use your key. Once you get your key, that can get you out, and you can leave as often as you want. We did not. I found everything I needed and wanted while I was staying at the hotel, in the hotel, and at the park. So we did not have to leave, but you can at any point if you want to go drive to a restaurant over there or anything in the area. You can do that with no. They won't be charging you extra. It's in and out rights as a hotel guest. So that's the garage, and I covered the check-in process. Security for the park. So when you get from the lobby, everything's pretty laid out pretty well. To the left, like once you enter the hotel, straight ahead, you already see the park. It's first of all, the lot. Even if you're pulling into the driveway of the hotel, the Porte Cochera, you're seeing like lights that are sort of like sunlight, because Helios is a sun god, so to speak. I don't know. I'm not a Greek mythology major, but it's something sun related, sun god related, or the pursuit of sun, or something like that. So there's a sun ray motif that goes outside in that and extends into the lobby, and you look out and you see a great area that you can step out and look out and take pictures and videos from there too. Great view of the park right from there. And to your left is the restaurant, the Flora Taverna, which is the main restaurant that serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's also a bar there that's the Flora Taverna lobby bar, which is the closest you get to a lobby bar. The only other bar is up on the 10th floor, the Bar Helios. And I was able to go there, but when I came in, I was thinking, okay, as a hotel guest, I can probably go to Bar Helios as often as I want, but that's not the case. You do need reservations, so before you go, another tip here is if you're going to go to Bar Helios, try to make a reservation, book a reservation. You get them through Resi.com right now, not through the website or the app, the Universal Orlando app right now. Get the time there. We were able to score a 4 o'clock reservation. That 4 p.m. when they open seems to be pretty open available. When we checked in, the person checking us in said, "Hey, if you can't get a reservation, show up at 4 o'clock and see if they can fit you in." And sure enough, we were there. We were there for about an hour when we went at 4 p.m. And maybe a third or half the tables were filled, so possibly could walk in. But again, we were there during the previews, during the quiet times of the previews back in late April. When the hotel gets crowded, it could be a very different scene. So try to make reservations to Bar Helios. Even though it is a bar, you want to see the views. And if you have kids, go up anyway. They have a children's menu up there. Obviously, 21 and older to drink, but I saw families there too. So that takes us to the fact that we went to security. Yeah, why did I not say this? Okay, so obviously what a lot of people want to ask about is the security process. Like, how stringent are they? Are they checking keys? Are they checking these things? So the security process, again, we never did the fact that we never made a mad rush, except for the second morning we were there, the first morning we were there after the first night. We did get up sort of early-ish, but we weren't there. There were people lined up like at 8 a.m., even though the park wouldn't be open for another hour and a half for everybody just camping out of Space Line. I don't think you need to do that. Security line runs pretty efficiently. There's 2. You pass through the metal detector, and you put all anything you have that's metal on the little conveyor belt. It gets screened, and on the other side, the line splits into 2. Here's another tip. All things being equal, go left. The right lane is not only wider, the stanchions are set up wider, but you actually travel more distance to get to the same spot. So we found, I sort of regretted that I was in one line, my wife and my son were in the other, and I was like trying to nudge them on my way, but then I just went over there, and the folks that were behind us got into the park several minutes before we did on the right side of the line. Again, a lot of factors can happen if someone's sort of stuck at a line. They have to go through that process. It can hold things up, but just there'll be fewer people if you go left and right in general if both lines are lined up the same. Let's talk about dining. So obviously, you're so much great stuff to eat at the Epic Universe Park, but there is opportunities to eat. Sorry, at the Grand Helios. And we explored three of them while we were there. The Flora Taverna, which is a restaurant that I mentioned earlier, it's to the left of the hotel. They serve breakfast. They have a buffet. They have like lemon ricotta pancakes and other stuff you can order a la carte. The buffet was $36 when we were there, but you can also get individual items. Not that they're any cheaper necessarily, but they do serve a breakfast there. We did not go for breakfast at any point. We went there for lunch one day, and we enjoyed it. I had a great burger, probably one of the best meals I had from Epic, and there was the burger I had there. It was a Wagyu beef burger, and you do pay for it. It was a $26 burger, which is more than the Atlantic restaurant, which is the fine dining restaurant in the actual park. Their burger, their peppercorn burger was just $21. So it was $26 for lunch, and it's the same burger as $29 for dinner. So that was unfair and unusual, but again, we were there for lunch, so I felt like I got a deal. There's a kids menu. There's chicken tenders, burgers, grilled cheese. There's pasta you can have with cream or tomato sauce. My son, who is a bit of a picky eater, wanted butter, and they were able to accommodate that. They just put butter. Obviously, since it's a breakfast restaurant, they have a lot of butter there to begin with. They gave us melted butter, which is very nice. So drawn butter that we were able to put in on the pasta. Great experience, and everyone that we ran into who worked at the hotel was excellent. But that was one of our better meals. There, just relaxing on that second day when we just needed a break from the very hot park. It came in timely at that point. The other places to eat, so we did not go out to the pool. It was hot, but again, we wanted to maximize our time in the actual things. We will probably visit the pool, and we go back in 2 visits later this summer to check out the Grand Helios and Epic Universe. But there is a Lotus Lagoon there, which is basically a bar and a restaurant. So they do offer some handheld food, some small snacks and foods and drinks and beverages while you're at the pool or just sitting by the pool. You don't have to literally be at the pool. There's tables set up at the actual bar area. Beyond that, there was the Aurora Market, which is more like a coffee house situation. So at the coffee house, it's a very small little counter. They have like gelato, a couple flavors of gelato on one side. They have some grab and go, some wraps and sandwiches and paninis you can get. They have some cookies. They have some candy bars, packaged candy bars and stuff. So and obviously a great a wide amount of Starbucks coffee on hand. So you can go there. If you want something and you don't want to basically just spend a lot of time in the restaurant actually sitting for a breakfast, you probably get something there. And the other restaurant, there was room service advertised. We did not try it, and I did not check out the menu, but I imagine it's a lot of the standards you see in Flora Taverna, I would imagine. At Bar Helios upstairs, we did manage to go there, as I mentioned earlier. We did try the Shattered Rose, which is that Instagrammable experience. It's $32, again, $32 before the park opened, before the park opens officially. And it's basically a bread pudding, and then there's like it's a gelato served with it, and the cardamom's gelato. And the whole gimmick of it is that they will take a rose, freeze it in liquid nitrogen or whatever it is that you pour the liquid nitrogen rather, and freeze the rose, and then one person in your party will clap on the rose's petals, and the petals will fall crumbling into the dessert. So the dessert was okay. I'm a big bread pudding fan, and to me, I would rate it maybe a 5 out of 10. The bread pudding was interesting, but not something mind blowing. Like I usually, it was a bit dry for bread pudding. I think was my biggest knock on it. But the experience is great, and more importantly, when you're at the Bar Helios, you're there for the view, which is spectacular. Inside the bar is great. If you get a table outside, it's even better because you're right there in the action. I should say it's a bit of a wind tunnel because even though they have big glass to make sure no one drinks enough to the point that they want to scale that fence, it's a big glass wall, and the wind will go by. There were things we saw things fly away, paper menus, napkins, all these things, and it wasn't even that breezy that day, but the winds will travel in that area. So That was that experience, and that covers, I think, all the places to eat there. I think I got them all. And more importantly, if you don't, so if you, let's say you don't want anything there, but you want something, and obviously you can order in, you can Uber Eats, DoorDash, or find a pizza delivery place anywhere that does stuff. You can also just literally hop on a shuttle that will take you to City Walk. This is the free shuttle that takes you there to City Walk. City Walk is all the restaurants and shops that are and connections to Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure. And you can also take a shuttle from there, a second shuttle, if you want to go to Volcano Bay for the water park. All that's there. It's just one free shuttle away. The shuttle leaves pretty regularly, and it's right by the lobby. That's where the bus shuttles come from and go from. So it's all very accessible. Everything sort of works, and you sort of want that because, again, it's. I didn't really explore walking too far away from the hotel, but it didn't look like we saw a lot off the Kirkman Road exit, Kirkman Road entrance to the. It's still like the expressways on one side, and just a lot of non-commercial stuff around it. You could probably walk to something, but I didn't necessarily see anything there, so it's convenient that way. So all in all, we had a great experience. The beds were really comfortable. The bathrooms had you have all the the necessities you need, all the shower, the shampoo, the conditioner, the body wash. It's all there in one of those like pre-filled bottles, and it's salon stuff, so it's all good stuff. We had a great time. And again, I didn't even mention this. I should have probably led with this. Even though we had put an 8:30 a.m. Sign in to come in, we got there we got there late, let's face it. So we figured we were going to be there for 2 whole days. We had done a preview 2 days earlier, so we were able to do 9 of the 11 rides in. So we weren't like in a desperate rush to go in and optimize that time. But when we were there, we sort of realized that, hey, we had lunch off-site to just make sure that we started on a full stomach and everything. But by the time we got there, so we got there around 2 o'clock, and we were afraid that they were just going to say, all right, well, we'll call you sometime after 4 when the room is ready. Our room was ready. And not only was it our room, again, it was a much better room than just a standard park view because this one was a little larger with the bayed window and that extra couch there that, again, I pretty sure that's not the deluxe room by definition because I don't think that definitely doesn't look like the deluxe room that they have in the graphic, and it didn't look like it pulled out, and there was really no linen or anywhere that I could see to make that into a bed. But it was definitely a great experience. So I realized that this is probably, it's 17 minutes in, this is a much longer review of the park, and I didn't actually have enough footage of 17 minutes, so I'm repeating some footage and showing stuff of the actual park. But that was our experience. We had a great time. Again, so arrive early to check in, and you can take advantage of the park early. Once you get your keys, you can go right into the park. Leave your keys either in your car in the garage or leave it with bellhop. When I was there, the person checking us in was saying that most people are staying here 1 or 2 nights, and they said, yeah, a lot of people just come in with rollaways, and so it's not good for the bellhops. But it is a part of the cool experience there. People are just staying there mostly for the access to Epic Universe. Then they're maybe moving on to another Universal hotel for the balance of their vacation, or maybe going to Disney or any of the other offsite hotels and getting the best of all worlds and exploring it all. But yeah, sure enough, our room was ready when we were checking in at 2, so we were able to go to our room before heading to the park. And the park obviously is great. The entrance, the entrance. You have once you get past security, they keep saying, make sure you have your keys. Make sure you have your keys. The only time they actually checked for our keys, and again, they wanted to see all 3, and they looked to make sure that they were like the same date, so it's not like I can use these keys forever because they have old dates and they were checking them. Was in the morning, in the early morning, when the early extra morning hours, and I don't know how long the lady that was checking at that time was staying there, and there was a guard next to her. But it did happen. It never happened in the afternoon, in the evening. Sometimes we'd go out and come back, after taking a little break in the room. And we never had them physically check our keys there. But that may change as they get closer to opening, or maybe they just trusted us and they knew our face because we got to know them a lot, and we can be a colorful family. At least my son can be pretty colorful, and people remember him. So all this happened. It was a great time. We are very excited and honored to have been able to stay there. It cost a lot, and I'll say that up front. The 2 nights at Helios, and it was 3 nights at the park. What we had done the first night was 2 days before we stayed at the hotel. We did the first preview night, and then we did a Sunday and a Monday after that. and that costs as much as our annual passes for the Universal for a whole year. So it's not cheap. But again, if you want to do it right, I recommend book a night or two at Grand Helios. 2 nights, I think, is ideal if you can spring it, just because you get to enjoy that whole day where you don't have to worry about checking in and then, where your suitcases and all this. Is my room ready? So you have that first day that to leisurely get in there, and that whole second day, you can, from beginning to end, you'll have that room. But amazing views, amazing everything, and it's hard to imagine going to Epic Universe without being there. But again, the first time we did go, we drove up, and we had no problem with the parking there and everything on that side. So great place. Check it out. But again, note the prices are not cheap at the restaurants necessarily. Know that it's the music that can get a little loud, and Bar Helios, make a reservation ahead of time if you want to go. I don't think the Flora Taverna will ever have an issue with reservations, but maybe I'm wrong if it does get crowded or overly popular. But enjoy your time. Do it if you can. If you can't, don't worry about it. And I'm pretty sure, because they weren't checking things coming in. If you're going Epic and you really want to like cool off, you can probably go into security and let them know they were checking. Sometimes they'd ask them when coming to security, they'd say, are you a guest here, or are you coming to visit? And I didn't see anyone get turned away necessarily. So you probably can go in and maybe even if you get a Bar Helios reservation while you're staying where you go in Epic as a non-Grand Helios hotel, you could probably do that, or even hang out at the lobby bar at the lobby bar. Enjoy the great views. They have a fitness center. The fitness center, we didn't visit the fitness center, but the fitness center is basically right there by the entrance, by the security entrance at that level. So you have a decent view of the park while you are there working out on some of the treadmills if you position yourself well. So, and there's a business center. They thought a lot of things, and there's a ramp. If you have a wheelchair or if you have mobility issues, you can take a ramp. The ramp's a little longer than the stairs that will lead you directly there, but it did work out pretty well. And my last thing is about early entry, and again, this may always change, but if you're going to have early entry, and 10 a.m. was when they were supposed to open. They actually opened a little before that, about 15, 20 minutes before that. They actually released the hounds. But from 8:30, I forget when they actually opened, 9 o'clock maybe, they were letting people there. People were just hanging out there waiting at the rope. So there really wasn't that much difference between the people that got there right when they started letting people through security, possibly around 9, and then the people who got there like at 9:45, right when they let them in. But make sure you give yourself time for security, the screening, and obviously the ticket check and all that. But yeah, it's a great resort, and for a buggy thing during the technical rehearsals, where the park wasn't necessarily at its best all the time, the hotel came through. Everyone at the hotel was great, and I can't wait to go back again. This is an honest review of the Grand Helios Hotel at Epic Universe. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, ask away. I'm going to stick around and answer questions if you have any questions. Bye.